Welcome back, everybody, to Tales of Eternia. We are here in Badiru's castle and about ready to face off with Badiru himself, the mastermind behind the Grand Fall. There he is. Farah mentions something is strange. I would say so. Mostly mummified. Body in the chair. So, Badiru is dead. He's been dead this whole time. So, who is initiating the Grand Fall? Mysterious lady enters, saying Badiru died 10 years ago. And Meredy calls her Shizel. The main villain of Tales of Eternia. So Shizel is Badiru's lover, basically. In other words, wife. So I guess their system is different in Celestia. They don't really have marriage, possibly. Muronda. She is the one that is doing the Grand Fall, causing the Grand Fall. And it was also Badiru's wish to do it, to purify this disgusting world. Rid said, it's a problem for us if all Eternia is destroyed. You notice there he calls it Eternia. I'm really curious if the English version, changes all the references to Eternia when the characters say Eternia, since that is the world and, that's the title of the game, but it had to be changed, so these dialogues must have also been changed. And Fog shows up. Leave Badiru to me. Oh, except Badiru's a woman, huh? But it doesn't matter. Everyone attack. And in usual Fog fashion, he gets electrocuted. His favorite pastime. So we're going to have a fight with Shizel here. And this is technically a fight you're not supposed to win. But believe it or not, you can win this fight. The ending will be the same, it doesn't matter, it'll still be like you lost it. But you can win this battle. Getting hit by her He-Ogi, and then if you're quick, you can heal everybody, but I was not quick. But it takes a lot of preparation, a lot of items, and you can win that battle. And if you do, you get a very special item as your reward, which is kind of cool, but yeah, it's a really tough fight to actually win because you're supposed to lose. But believe it or not, that fight with Shizel is winnable. So anyway, Race has shown up here to defend us because apparently he has a light ability that can counteract her Ogi that she used on us, that giant sword that comes out of Dimension X and kills everybody. That's so creepy. Bariru's corpse just sort of keels over there. Boy, this room got destroyed. And now Shizel went up to the dark sphere that we've been noticing growing there in the Seifert ring, slowly eroding it so that the grand fall occurs. So, things are looking pretty dire for our heroes. That somehow we're okay. Thanks to Race. Rid thought that she had been killed there. So he has a sigh of relief. A lot of people wonder why suddenly the characters have full HP when we just, had that fight and we got reduced to 1. It's because of Race and that skill he uses. When Rid finally gets that skill, it heals the entire party. And so Race used that skill. And of course, Rid will get it later. And that's what it does. It negates Shizel's Hi-Ogi and heals the entire party for a bunch of health. So that's what Race did. And that's why we're all full health, is because he canceled her Demon's Lance or whatever it was. And the entire party gets healed in exchange. But he's dying, unfortunately, and so he passes the Seifert key to Rid so that Rid can get the power of light, which Race had, but Race's was not complete. So he didn't have time to get his to its full potential. He needed to run in and rescue them. But now it's Rid's task. We gotta meet Garanos and ask him the details. The elderly gentleman that, Medity works with. Race says to protect those that are important to you. And that is what the holy light is for.
レイス。
Such great emotional acting there. Always tugs at your heartstrings. But yeah, I forgot this game is pretty dark. A lot of good people die. Fortunately, our main characters don't. So we have an important conversation here. Keel wondering why Melody knew Shizel. And Melody says Shizel is her mother. So Bariru? Oto-san. So Bariru is her father. So this is one of the reasons why she has been so eager to try to save the world, stop the Grand Fall and everything. It's a family matter. It involves her parents, making her feel like she has a responsibility. Keel's angry that she hasn't told us the truth since up to now. Keel, what a jerk. Makes Melody cry. She just didn't know how to break it to them. You know, she apologizes. You know, it's rough when it's her own parents that are causing the destruction. And she feels like she has to stop them. Keel asks an interesting question there, wondering if Shizel was like that in the past. And Melody says no, they were both very kind and loving, but that was in the past. And Melody remembers the warmth of their caring when she was a child. So, of course, Melody doesn't know why they're doing it. But maybe they can find the answers if we talk with Garenos, as Race suggested. So that'll be our next stop. Gonna go see Garenos here. By the way, I want to welcome everybody back to the series. I know a lot of what was going on here in the start. I didn't really have a proper introduction. But welcome back to this amazing story. And yeah, I really like the story in this game. It's really good. I don't know what people say about the story's weak or lame. It's a very good story, very unique. And you can't compare it to, you know, Symphonia or things like that, because those stories came much later. So you have to compare it to older stories like Destiny or Fantasia. People don't really give this game its just credit. It has a very, very good story. So we picked up Garenos there, and he needed to come and talk to Fog. And he mentioned we need to use the Safe Heart key to do some challenges for Rid. The typical RPG style challenges. Bobby, before we do that, I wanted to show a couple things here in Tinsia that I haven't done yet. There's this suspicious guy that looks like Kong Man from Tales of Destiny. And yeah, it's supposed to be Kong Man. And you have this pretty funny minigame here. This is a Kaiten Zushi. famous restaurant in Japan with the not elevators, but the moving platforms. I forget what those are called. Conveyor belts. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And basically, you try to grab the sushi, especially the gold plates or the different colored plates, because they're worth more. And but you can't eat too much at once, so you gotta occasionally drink your ocha and try to get as many plates as possible. And the plates have scores. The gold ones are worth the most. I lost because he got 3 gold plates and I only got 1. But it's kind of cool. That's the way it actually works in Japan. The different plate colors are the different value of the sushi that's going around, and so you pick up the ones you want, and you can see if they're cheaper or expensive. And then when you leave the restaurant, the people just calculate the plates you have and their color coordination, and that's what you pay as you leave the restaurant. Kaiten Sushi. It's a lot of fun. If you've never been to a Kaiten Sushi restaurant, I recommend checking it out. It's just fun to watch things go by, and then you just choose what you want to eat. You keep the plates, and that way they know exactly what you ate. And they charge you accordingly. It's kind of an interesting system. And we're going to use the key here, and it's going to point to the direction we need to go. A lot of people don't realize that, if you get lost in this part in the game, you can always go to the inventory and go to the item menu and just use the Save Heart key over and over again, and it'll keep pointing to where you need to go. If you get lost or confused or turned around, you can use it multiple times. And a lot of people don't seem to know that you can do that. So it was pointing down here, and there's this suspicious little Save Heart Shinden, which is now red colored on the map. I really like these places. The artist did a lot of work, making it look really cool. Really pretty gardens and details, and it's not even really a dungeon. But yeah, they put a lot of quality into stuff that you'll only see maybe for one time or just a very brief period. But here we go. This will be Rid's first test. And these tests are kind of interesting, so I've left them in. Interesting way to test the person's heart, as you'll see, and so I've left them all in. So I guess this episode will mostly be some story dialogue. A lot of story stuff coming up here. Probably won't be able to fit a dungeon into this episode, but there's some very cool story stuff going on. And I wanted to include it all. That's kind of funny. The characters try to go through the barrier here, but they can't. Wow, Melody really tried hard there. Once again, Keel and Melody's sort of odd relationship there. But apparently Rid is the only person that can go through the barrier, because he has the Seyfart key and he is going to have to do the trial alone. So there are 3 of these trials. I'll try to maybe put them all into this episode, maybe.
なんだよく来たな。その声は。私に触れることは
Just sort of an illusion there.
私はここにあってないものだからな。あんた一体何者だ
of course, I want to include these scenes so that you can hear the Japanese acting and see the original Japanese dialogue, which may have been totally changed in the English version.
セイファートの試練は過酷だ。覚悟はできているな。どんな試練だろうと乗り越えてみせるぜ。ならば。
So Rid says, whatever the challenge, I'm up to it.
何故極光術を得る。そんなの決まってんだろ。
And he asks him why, and Rid says it's to defeat Shizil. And he's wondering, why would you want to defeat somebody? And Rid says she is trying to destroy Eternia, and that would be a terrible thing, wouldn't it?
Eternia. 世界はお前にとって全てを犠牲にしてまで
But Eternia is not, all there is. It's just what you see. There's more to the world than just what you're thinking of. There's more to things. So as always, many Tales games, we go into this really deep philosophical discussion. What is right? What is wrong? Is this the true world? Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he says ahead is the first trial. And good luck, and he disappears into a puddle of feathers. That was totally copied in Tales of Symphonia. What's his name? Always leaving with a bunch of feathers flying down. So these trials are pretty interesting. So in this one, Rid is in an egg bear. I actually get to fight as an egg bear. No skills. No menu access. But I do have a cool finishing move. Can't really look at the status to see what it looks like, but... So yeah, we are an egg bear. And this is that cave from near the beginning of the game. And as the egg bear is thinking, my family's been killed. You can see the 2 little ones there on the bottom and the bottom right. Those are little baby ones, and I guess maybe the other is the wife. And they've come to steal his eggs. Of course, Rid is experiencing this as the bear instead of himself, to get a different perspective. Sometimes we all need to step back and get a new perspective. Did I kill a human? So as an egg bear, he killed a human. It's like, oh, one of our eggs. So you can walk around in the cave a bit, but eventually you have to end up in this spot. Medity still speaking Melnick's there. And of course, we all know what happens here because we were on the other end during this fight. So as the egg bear, you can't win this fight at all. I've tried many times without, very many skills, no special moves, no healing items. The egg bear says he wants to live. So they murdered his family and stole all his eggs and smashed some of them. And now he's dead too, and now some human is gonna cut him up for meat. I wonder who that is. Rid. So this is the exact same conversation that we had like around episode 2 or 3 when we were here as a party. So kind of interesting, gives Rid view from a different different point of view of life instead of being the human being in the monster's shoes and seeing that they just have their lives as well.
無事生還できたようだな。
待ってくれ。そんな
So Rid is surprised that that was the test, and he was wondering kind of what it really meant. But apparently the test is different for every person, and it depends on their experience. It's interesting, as soon as he comes out of here, Rid panics seeing the people, because while he was in the egg bear, they came up and tried to kill him. So Rid is saying that test number 1 is finished and we have 2 more to go. There are 3 tests in total. And I got an ability for that. The conversation was kind of long, so I cut it a little short. But we got a special ability. When Rid is almost near death in battle, you can hit the circle, square, and X buttons on the controller, and he does a sort of special desperation move, which I'll try to show off. It's pretty cool. But we're going to use the ring here and go to our next test. However, the beam is shooting straight up into the sky. Oh! So we must fly to our next test. I love that. It's kicking Quickie away. Quickie, get away from me. Chat definitely hates animals. So we decided we need to go to Aifreed, and as you know, we have no way of getting back to Aifreed. It's been a while since we've been there, but Chat has an idea. So we've come back to her hut, and by the way, she made this. Oh, whenever she says, "I made this," you got to make sure to compliment her. So it's a monument to Aifreed, her great-grandfather. And on the statue is some coordinates. 20998. So this game has a latitude and longitude system. which is kind of cool. Very handy. And she is going to give us a GPS. You know, it's kind of funny. It looks like a sextant there. The old devices for deciding direction and, using the stars that, ships would use. But here it's called a GPS. Even though it does not look high-tech at all, apparently it is still a GPS. So using this, we can go to these coordinates and see what's there. Because according to chat, Aifreed, as a pirate and explorer, he went to all countries and all worlds. In other words, he went to Inferia and Celestia freely. So he must have had a way to do it. So we're going to have to figure out how Captain Aifreed freely switched from one world to another. So we go to the coordinates here on the GPS, you can see there. And a cave opens up. Aifreed's secret hideout. Aifreed is definitely legendary, that's for sure. A flame sword. I've always wondered about this sealed door here that looks like a safe. Like you can interact with it and, he says it's locked or whatever. I've always wondered what was in there. But apparently it's just a door you can interact with. Let's see if that flame sword is any good that I just picked up. Not really. I guess it's just fire elemental, so if you're against water elemental creatures, it would be good. Dun dun dun. Now this part of the game I thought was really cool. We got a roulette here that we spin. And I got a 4, so 4 masses we can move forward. And Farah calls this a Suguroku nanjanai. So in Japan, Suguroku is a kind of board game, where you have these spaces and you use a dice and roll the dice, and then you get to move that many spaces, and at the end of the space something happens. That's Suguroku. Kind of like the game of life or something. You've got a path and you roll the dice, then you move that number of spaces, and then something happens, usually good or bad. Like here everybody got poisoned. So something happens on the space that you land at. And so this is called a Suguroku. And it's basically a board game. Just a board game with, the moving from space to space. And in Japanese, they call it a mass. So 3 masses is moving 3 spaces, basically. So 2 mass. I get to move 2 spaces forward, and there's nothing there. So this place is pretty long, but I'll try to show some of it. I got 5 mass. So I get to move 5 spaces ahead. And a hole appears, and do not pass go, do not collect $200, and I got sent back to the start. So this can be kind of frustrating. It's a cool concept because the bridges pop up, depending on the number you get. And, now there's monsters. So there's enemies, there's traps, there's all kinds of stuff. So it's just like a board game. And I wanted to show the backgrounds. If you look, the backgrounds look really cool. You can tell we're in this board game with all the platforms. That was one tough skeleton.
負けられるか。
But because of the randomness of this area, it might take me a while. So I may cut out part of this, as sometimes you get like, move back 3 spaces. More monster, or move back 3 spaces and then you get 3. You move back 3 spaces again, you're stuck in an infinite loop. Or suddenly you just get the go back to start. But this is Aifreed's test. He doesn't want just normal people coming in and stealing his tech. This is his defense mechanism. A Suguroku board. It's pretty cool, I think, and it's kind of a unique way to do a dungeon. But I think I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here. We've been going for a while. And in the next one, I'll go ahead and start the next episode near the end of this Suguroku puzzle. And, oh hey, a present from Aifreed. How nice. And it's a fake. Alright guys, make sure not to miss the next episode, because we're going to have an epic, epic scene. One of the most epic scenes in this game. And we'll finish this Suguroku puzzle and see what rewards Aifreed the pirate has waiting for us. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Remind me never to open presents from Aifreed.